Hopefully, third time's the charm since we've been trying to do this review and technical issues have been coming up left and right. We tried this with our taste review. We had to ditch the first review for 2025. Then we're able to get the second one. We tried this and audio was acting up again. But hopefully, as I mentioned earlier, third time's the charm.
It's either that or three strikes are out.
I hope not, because we got to review this movie. Regardless how painful it was, we took the time to watch it. Surf Ninjas, with a Rotten Tomato score of 23% by the critics and 68% by the audience. My God, was this painful to watch. Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel.
I'm Adon.
Where we give a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. 1993 was the year this movie came out. It was in a heyday, very popular, even though it's been a while popular, of ninjas. They were doing Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja 3 The Domination. Then you had American Ninja up to what? How many did they do? Like 6 movies?
It was like 5 or 6 movies, but you also had the Three Ninjas, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The
right.
90s were full of ninjas.
Well, not just the 90s, but the 80s as well, like the late 80s to the early 90s.
True.
You know, you had that. But like everything was ninja at that time. Like you had Gymkhana, where there weren't ninjas, but they were dressed like ninjas in that made up land.
Did you say Revenge of the Ninja?
What do you mean? I think I said Gymkhana. Did I say Gymkhana?
No, but I'm also thinking about other ninja projects.
Oh, yeah. I said that way before. Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja 3 Domination, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So in that time frame, I would say 85 to 95, let's be there, that ninjas had a good run.
That's pretty fair.
And this is no exception. Granted, there are really no ninja surfing there. There's really no ninja surfing at all in this movie, except for the heroes of the story.
Yeah. I mean, Ernie Reyes Sr., I guess he's the closest thing to an actual ninja in the entire story.
Well, no, they had ninjas in here. They had ninjas.
I mean, what we picture as a proper ninja.
Well, martial artists and stuff like that. Right. Yeah. Now, watching this, the only thing that I enjoyed here in the sense of performances or acting was Leslie Nielsen, even though he had a small role in this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how or why he did this in the sense of, did he promise someone or lost a bet to do this? Rob Schneider, who was up and coming at the time, you know, coming from his Saturday Night Live days. Kelly Hu, which was also up and coming, even though she looks young as hell in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
She's 24 at the time. Her voice sounds exactly as it does now. It's weird to hear an old woman's voice or mature voice on a young face. It is weird for me. And you know, she had a little peach fuzz, which was a little.
I wasn't looking that hard for that.
Oh man, there was a little peach. I was like, ooh, they didn't want to nair that or wax it off. I was like, But regardless of that peach fuzz, she still looked good. The girl does not age. Like she looks now like she has a full head of gray hair and looks amazing. Then you have here Ernie Reyes Jr. We know him from Ninja Turtle movies. We know him from not Sidekicks. He did a television show with Buck Rogers. I can't remember. Maybe it was that called Sidekicks too. I don't know if that was called. I can't remember. And he was also in The Last Dragon.
Yeah.
I know him way before that because he and his father, Ernie Reyes Sr., who plays
Zach,
they used to do performances or have a performance on the Jerry Lewis telethon during Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they still do that because before he used to run like 48 hours or so, his performances and trying to raise money for, it was almost a whole weekend, almost pretty much. Well, definitely all day Sunday. And they'll perform whatever, and they will not sleep, whatever, especially Jerry Lewis, who was running it. But they'll help raise money for muscular dystrophy. I just said it wrong, but anyway. But that's where I know him from.
Yep.
And what's crazy here too, they're Taekwondo practitioners, and they just do everything else. Like they have here all these crazy weaponry, which was like almost reminded me of like Big Trouble in Little China, where they had just like different type of weaponry, but they just made it as if it was just part of their world or country. The Chinese weapons,
I can see that.
Japanese weapons, Korean, and then they put it here. And then back Big Trouble in Little China, they did the same thing. They just put like a melting pot, which is kind of rude. but that's what they had. You wanted to review this.
Well,
Does this hold up to what you remember? I
well,
mean, when
first,
was the last time you saw this?
so first of all, you gave me two choices, and I went with nostalgia for this choice. And I mean, does it hold up? No, I don't think it will hold
No.
up. Maybe a child at a certain age. It's definitely geared for children.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like it's a younger demographic than what it used to be. Like when I was watching this, I was like 9 or 10 when it
Hmm.
first came out. Now I feel like a younger child might be able to enjoy it more, just for
Right.
context of stuff that's out there. Now,
Right.
as far as does it hold up? I said no, it doesn't. Just to cut to the chase, nostalgia does get me through certain things. There are some points that are good.
Yeah,
There's
but oh
also
my
some points that
God.
are not.
What got me through it was Roy Schneider and Leslie Nielsen.
Who? You said Roy Schneider?
Yeah, isn't that Roy Schneider? Was it
Rob Schneider.
Oh, Roy, the guy from Jaws. Rob Schneider, sorry. Rob Schneider. Anyway, those three, yeah. He was a comic relief. Leslie Nielsen
Yeah.
was kind of comic relief, but he was also like, I think he was there also to make fun of how like movies were done back in the day where they whitewashed it.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
had,
His character was
you
a
know,
complete whitewash character.
right. Because his name was Asian.
Hmm.
It was not a white name, even though he's a white guy, blonde, well, gray hair for
It's like
him.
a less
So
funny version of Balls of Fury with Christopher Walken.
right, even though Balls of Fury took place several or happened several years later
Yeah.
compared to this. But yeah, but like had Marlon Brando back in the day, he played a Japanese character
Yeah.
and they put like fake eyes on him. But here I guess I don't know why they did that.
I think it was more like they realized that he's not Japanese or Asian of any kind, and then he just took ownership of that. Like someone just taking yeah, taking someone else's culture. What's the term for that?
Appropriation of taking someone's culture. Yeah, I don't know.
We're not
I don't
classy
remember.
people. Uh, we don't
No,
know
we're classy.
words.
I just don't know the word. I don't know words. But I know. Yes, I know what you're saying. It's not colonizing. That's a different.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
colonizing is like imposing your beliefs on someone else. But
right,
anyways, to bring it back to the
right.
point, it's still funny in the context of it, and they did have some really good moments for Leslie Nielsen, like the whole
Yeah.
voicemail machine, which a lot of people won't
Yes.
get nowadays. But
No.
we lived through that, and we know how that
Right.
feels. And then he comes back. He's when he finally gets the voicemail on the answer machine, and he gets a person. He goes, "Hey, did you call last time?" And he's like, "Damn
Was that
it!"
you that called? Right. And then he throws
Because
the phone away.
someone keeps hanging up on him. So yeah, and then of course around that time frame, like every electronic piece of mechanics, if you dropped in water, it would just electrocute.
Well, for him, he was half man, half machine, like cyborg. No fear of water, just like the Wicked Witch
E-
couldn't get wet,
exactly, because worry about shorting out. In today's
and rightly
time,
so.
a lot of people today would be like, "Oh, you couldn't waterproof that," but back then we couldn't. We didn't have any
Right.
electronics that weren't waterproof. I will say this though, like as wild as this movie is, there are some weird, interesting things about it. So like I was telling you the other day, like you would think this movie would have been a little bit better because like the director was Neil Israel or
Hmm.
Israel. So like he's done projects like Police Academy, the very first one. He
Oh
did
wow,
Real Genius with Val Kilmer,
Jesus. Okay.
Bachelor Party. Now,
What
granted, those first two he
bachelor
wrote.
party?
He was the writer of the first two, but Bachelor Party he
Oh,
actually directed.
see, that's what's crazy about it because those movies are like legendary good. They
Yes.
hold up. Police Academy, hands down, one of the best ensemble cast and comedy stuff. Real Genius. It touched many things. It was a comedy, but it also was like coming of age thing as well. And then Bachelor Party, one of the first big movies for Tom Hanks. He was blowing up at the time from Bosom Buddies and doing guest spots on like Family Matters and not Family Matters, Family Ties and
Hmm.
Happy Days. And this is like one of his like big starring roles before he got serious.
Yeah. Well,
Like he was doing comedies.
speaking of serious, let's talk about that writer, the guy who wrote the script for the movie.
Mhm.
Also wrote movies like Passenger 57, which I know you're a big fan of.
Oh my, Wesley Snipes, right?
And he also wrote The Hurricane with, with
With
Denzel Washington.
Denzel, yeah, as a boxer based on a true story.
Yes.
So I mean, this makes no sense. I'm telling you, Leslie Nielsen, the writer director, they must lost a bet or they made a promise to someone to make this. It makes no sense that these talented people made such a crappy movie.
I mean, there's nothing I could see that was saying like the production company interfered or anything like that, and it's very possible that it could, but at the same time, like, yeah, there's a lot. This movie just looked like it lived on its own merit.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was written and directed by Ernie Reyes Jr. You know, that's how poor it was. Like this movie, it would have made more sense if it came out straight to DVD instead into the theaters.
But here's the funny thing: Ernie Reyes Jr. did good projects. I would have given him more credit than
No, he
this.
did
Yeah,
good projects, but as him as the star of this,
yeah.
not good. He's also in The Rundown with The Rock, which he plays a
Mhm.
Brazilian, which was a great scene in that. You know, he had a little cameo in one of the Rush Hour films, I think Rush Hour 2, was well known, but to have him as the starring vehicle in this, because he did have a starring vehicle in a starring position in Ninja 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
I mean, he
But
also had a starring position when he was in Red Sonja, but
oh yeah, that's right, Red Sony, I forgot.
it was right after Last Dragon. Doesn't look like
Yes,
Last Dragon
yes.
had a better look cleaner of a film, but
Oh, no, of course.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But that's a whole Red Sonja is another mess that got made. Yeah, and then like the military, what's his name? Leslie Nielsen's military.
Did they have an actual name?
I have no idea, but I just know that it made no sense to me that the ninjas and like the military, in the sense of the firearm soldiers, they had the same outfit,
Mhm.
which is like blue camouflage. And why wear camouflage if you're trying to find some people like you stand out like sore thumbs? That you're a country going to America, you're invading that, you're being terrorists, if you will.
So I had
And
time to ponder this because like you ever see like urban camo? It looks like it's just a mosaic of colors, like
right,
for a
I
certain
get that,
business.
but I'm saying though, you're going into another country, you're supposed to do like secret op where you don't want to be found or something like that, but you're going in camouflage out in the open, you're trying to sneak around where people can literally see you while they're walking down the street, and then you're doing tuck and rolls, trying to be all secretive, and they're like nowadays, probably people like in New York, especially like, oh, that's every day. But I don't think in Venice that is every day that you see people dressed head to toe in the dead of summer when it's hot out and you're wearing doing flips and climbing walls and
I
I don't
mean,
know.
the best camo ninja that they had was the one that was actually in the water, dressed in blue.
Well, they're all dressed in blue.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
but
telling
no,
you.
but there
Blue
was one that
camouflage.
there was actually one in the water when they were surfing and he got hit by a surfboard.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about on land as well,
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying he was probably the best dressed.
or dressed appropriately, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what about scenes? We have a lot of action there, but at the same time, the action here was not that good, except for me. There's one. What about
Yeah.
you?
I mean, the best scenes for me were not the action scenes overall.
Okay.
Yeah, they were the scenes that made me laugh the hardest.
Was that with Rob?
Mostly with Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember what he said, but it was right after
No,
the
he made some funny stuff like was
oh
like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
how did he
Yeah.
say that?
No,
Oh,
no,
he goes,
no, this is it. It's right after the kid's adopted father gets taken and
mhm,
Zach, Ernie Reyes Sr.
mhm.
says, "They have taken him." And they go, "Whoa, how'd he do that?" And and
Right.
Rob Schneider as Iggy goes like this, "They have taken him."
Yes, especially like when Ernie Reyes Jr. What was his name in his movie?
Johnny, like Johnny 5, and the little
Okay,
brother was called Adam.
okay. So Johnny, you know, when he gets his powers to fight, you
Mhm.
know, which is makes again 0 sense. He's waving or swinging the sword and all that stuff, and he's like, man, he can get a job as a sushi chef, no problem. Everyone's like, you dumb mother. But for me, one of my thing for action was when he gets his powers and he's fighting Zach, who's challenging him in the sense of his skills,
Yeah.
and he's talking and moving. That's hard to do. Let alone it's hard to remember your lines. Then it's hard enough to remember the movements to blend the two,
Yeah.
that's really tough and impressive. So I was impressed with that. Granted, they've been working together. They can do at that time eyes blindfold
Yeah.
and be able to do the movements successfully. Tone Loc sucked. I really think he served no purpose. Like I think him there or not being there would have made no difference.
True. Yeah, that's not you're not necessarily wrong. The story could have been without him. The funny thing is, the only thing I remembered about the movie before rewatching it, because again, it's been like 10 plus years,
Mhm.
is brothers don't serve. And that's the only line I remember of the movie, literally in the
Uh,
trailer, and it's from him.
and they have like other influences besides, of course, the ninjas and of course Bruce Lee and video games. But you have
Mhm.
Predator also as an influence. The sliding down of the hill,
Yes. The
where Adam is
that
sliding down Tone Loc like like a surfboard in a way, but like
yeah,
on his butt, and that was totally
it felt
a,
like
a
Predator.
Predator. Yeah, it felt like a Predator scene where Arnold's sliding down before he falls into the water. That's
Mhm.
the same idea.
There is a touch of, like, Ninja Turtles, like you said before, because, instead of Cowabunga, they say, "Kwanzaa, dudes." No one knows
Right.
what
This
Kwanzaa means.
no one does. Was it called car surf or was it car
Oh,
surf?
Moto Surf. That's,
Moto
and
surf.
to me, that's Teen Wolf.
But and unlike Teen Wolf, they're driving the car where Teen Wolf was just riding the car and doing his stuff on the
Yeah.
top of the roof.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Didn't you also like the scene where the guy falls down the stairs?
Oh yeah, at the end. That was the comedic. Right. And that reminded me of
Uh,
I'm gonna get you sucker.
yeah, they deliver it differently, where in "I'm Gonna
Right,
Get
yeah.
You Sucker" is like, you have 2 options. You can go out the take the stairs, or you can go out the window, or something
Right.
along those lines. Here, they just say, like, "The fight's over," and the guy just weighs his hand down and pretty
Right.
much just
Well, because he's like he falls down first. He
yeah.
he climbs back up. He gets hit, kicked, whatever. Falls back down. He tries again. It happens again, and then his last attempt is
Mhm.
like, dude, the fight's done. We won. He's like, damn it. All right. So he just like throws himself down. And I believe in I'm gonna get you sucker was like you can go the hard way or the easy way. Something
Yeah.
like that. One of the two. Kadeem Hardison and Damon Wayans. They were the two that were getting thrown out the
Yeah.
window or down the steps.
And it just kept getting funnier.
Right. So yeah, the guy was hilarious. Or that scene was. But man, so many bad scenes otherwise. Like when Satch is fighting the ninjas in the Chinese restaurant, he's fighting and touching his patch like every 2 seconds, like not to let him move. I was like,
Yeah.
why worry about that? Let the patch fall off, and you're showing your scar. You have your eye closed, your Popeye, and what have you. But fight. But he's always like trying to put it in place, and it was so
Yeah.
annoying in that scene.
Well, I attribute that to the makeup department, like the costume designs, because like even Leslie Nielsen's outfit looked like it was about to fall off at any moment, and
It was cheap, yeah.
his was the most complex, but most of their clothes were all baggy, they were
Right.
all like
But the
loose,
eye
and
patch, when you're fighting, and if it's a natural thing for it to fall off.
never falls off of Nick Fury.
That's right.
It,
It was
it
like tight.
it's
It was
super
tight.
tight, yeah,
Yeah. So that thing is never falling off. But for him in that movie, you would think, okay, you're fighting around, it's gonna fall off. You got your eye slashed. There's a scar there, so let it be. And the fight scenes overall were weak. They were not really that good. I mean, except for that cave scene when he gets his powers, and when he does a stunt where he runs up on one of the soldiers, turns in the air, and does a jump sidekick. Pretty cool. That
I
was
mean,
very
there's a lot of production issues, I think, because like when they were escaping the truck with the other prisoners, they handed the keys and he cuts open like the chain. Tilo just like slides the cuffs off.
Who?
Uh,
Who?
uh
Tone Loc?
Tone Loc.
Okay. If they said Tito, I was like, Tito.
I said T Loc. I
Oh,
just didn't want to say Tone. He just slides the cuffs off, and then they
right.
don't really open because they were just baggy anyways. And,
Baggy. What was baggy? The cuffs?
the cuffs, they were just oversized.
Oh yeah, oversized. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam gets into the
Mhm.
Jeep and tries to back up, and I
Oh,
actually
and that scene too, the whole scene, you have soldiers with machine guns, and no one fires a gun.
here's the weird thing. So, like, when he gets into that Jeep, just to cover on that,
Mhm.
He starts off in one seat, and when they backs up, he's in another seat. They all have assault gun, rifles, machine guns, whatever you want to say. No one
Mhm.
fires it, but then it goes into that cliche, old school 1970s, 60s martial arts where everybody's just gonna like do
One person
do.
fighting, yeah, one person attack, but but the thing is, like, they have it, and instead of shooting the guy who's right in front of them, they're like, "Oh, let me hit you with the butt of the rifle."
Oh
And I
yeah,
was like, "What? Why? You're there trying to. You want to kill him. You want to kill the kids because a prophecy was said,
yeah.
and
I mean,
so."
that's the order. It would have been different. They say take him alive, but no.
Right, exactly. And like Ernie Reyes Jr. now, he's not as he was. He was extremely talented back then and very acrobatic and all that stuff. They didn't allow him to really show his potential. They just showed again in the sense of one, two technique, sparring, fighting,
Yeah,
and to take people down. I was like, this kid could have done so much. Like he did so much demonstration of his technique in the rundown, in the Ninja 2 movie or Ninja Turtle 2 movie,
mhm,
and Red Sonja, and in The Last Dragon. Like his technique was there, and they showed off more in those films, even though he has smaller parts than he
yeah.
did in this film. Damn it. Let the star be the star in a sense. Let what he's known for, his martial arts prowess. So let him go all out. It would have been a better action film, if you will.
I
But
didn't realize he was also in Rush Hour 2.
I said that.
Yeah, I'm just saying I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he had a cameo. He didn't do anything except for run away. He was like a front desk guy. He
Yeah.
and the cops came. He saw the cops, Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, and then he just runs and they chase him to this like alley, whatever, and he's right there. So I was like,
Oh, okay. I was
yeah, it's
thinking
that.
like he did like something more. I guess not.
No,
Okay.
no, it was 5 minutes of work. He was there more like an Easter egg for us who know his work.
Yeah.
So it's just like, now what other bad moments? I mean, there's so many bad moments,
I mean, we
but
just named several.
when Zach shows up at the restaurant, at the pizzeria, and the ninjas break through, they go through the window, and what he does, the column that's there, he has to hit it 3 times. Instead of going around it into the opening where the glass is broken,
Mhm.
he goes to hit it, it doesn't move, it doesn't fall. He hits it again, it doesn't fall. And then I think he does a push kick, and then it falls. Whatever. But I was like, just go through the opening of the window. There's no need to break it. But I mean, if I was the editing crew, I would have just done it on the one that broke instead
Yeah,
of,
there's a lot of cheesy things.
oh, way too many.
Yeah. I know you had an issue with the whole psychic ability to see the future through the Game Gear. I thought it was interesting that there's that legitimate Surf Ninja video game, but none of those
Yeah.
scenes were used in the video game. They only made them for the movie. And then I remember you having an issue with the scene where Kelly Hugh was like, her character was calling over the guys,
Yes.
and they were, I say, in a comedic fashion, knocked out.
Yeah, but if they get hit and they made it, I think some of them made a sound. No one heard it.
And they were coming in one by one.
Right. I don't know. It's just again for little kids
Sure.
under 10. This is a hit,
Hey, hey.
especially for Adam who has the like the console and he's playing. We have consoles up the galore now, so a lot of kids can relate to that. Even though
Back in the
that's like a
day, we didn't.
right, it was like very hard to get because that was like a Sega or Neo Geo, something like that, right?
That no, it was a Sega. No, it was the Game Gear, Sega Game Gear.
Okay, but
Mhm.
still, that was a big console back then. Now it's like very small. It's like well, now we have phones that
So, like,
replicate.
for those who don't know the Game Gear, take your Nintendo Switch, which most people know the size of a Nintendo Switch, and then triple it in thickness, or at least double, but triple it. I'm pretty sure you're pretty much a Game Gear, and it definitely didn't do the Wi-Fi. We didn't have Wi-Fi back then. Uh, you could only You had to use a cable if you want to do two players. The whole attaching to the TV thing, I don't think that
Mhm.
was a thing.
Right, right.
And cartridges were about the size of my palm.
Yes, yes. Now, now it's just well, it's on your phone or like a little disc, like a little
Mhm.
small disc. But anyway, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm done with this. I mean, after watching this for this review, I sometimes I would rewatch it because time has gone by, but I can't take myself to watch it again. Oh, how did you see it?
So I watched it on Amazon Freevee, I want to say. No,
Okay,
no, not true. I watched it on Fandango.
I saw it on Amazon, and it had like one commercial break, which was good. I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, mine had a little bit more commercial breaks, but still free. So I'm not complaining. I'm sure you would have been upset if you had to pay.
Oh, definitely. Definitely, I would be upset. Now, so Rotten Tomatoes is 23% by the critics, 68% by the audience. Now, it's like 22 reviews by the critics and over 10,000 by the audience. Where do you see it?
I'll lean towards the audience, but lower.
God damn it. All right.
I'll say like 58.
Why?
58.
Why? Because was it mainly because of the nostalgia?
The nostalgia does have play a part. I can see I put my reviews a little bit towards like the audience point perspective. I laughed, and I've seen worse things doing what we do. I can easily put this on the background and just zone out.
But why do that when you can put something else on?
Oh no, trust me.
Zone out.
I'm just saying, like if I was watching like Pluto TV, you know, when it's just streaming things and just comes on automatically on the playlist, sure, I'm not going to care. It didn't hurt me as much as it hurt you. Let's just put it that way.
Well, yeah, okay, because I don't think I saw it in the theaters. No, I don't think. No,
I don't think I saw it in the theaters. If anything, I probably saw it on HBO.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like HBO, I liked it back then. It was cute, but seeing it now at 52 years old,
yeah, it doesn't hold as much.
Oh my God, no. Especially like also like you have in the opening credits where they're supposed to be surfing, but all it is them on the floor but elevated, and a camera going by them to make them look like they're surfing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going way like big here, but then it cuts to them, their bodies or the body doubles surfing. And they're not going all like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They're just catching a wave, dude. This should not be called Surf Ninjas. It's just been called Valley Ninjas. I don't know.
Baba Ran.
Oh, yes. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, my God.
Baba Ram.
And then he shows up later. It's like, ugh.
I mean, the movie gave us such mottos like something not even money can buy, the knives of Kwansu, and then Rob Schneider followed.
Are you quoting something that no one ever says?
But wait, I'm getting to that point. Rob Schneider, knives. Oh yeah, seriously, that's something money can't buy. Knives. Once I went to a cutlery store and said, "Here's $100,000. Can I buy a knife?" And they said, "No, money can't buy knives." Gee, I guess that's why you hardly ever see any.
No one quotes that. No one says those quotes. I like, "I'll be back" or "wax on, wax off." None of that. Come on.
We should bring back the Kwansu dudes.
No, none of this. Like, no, there's no line here that's repeated till this day. For me, a waste of time.
Fair enough.
You?
Maybe one and done. Otherwise, lean to none at all.
There you have it. All right, guys. That is our throwback review of Surf Ninjas. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? What was your worst moment? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adon.
Love you, bro.
Kwansu dudes. I don't know. Love you too.